So next we have Alicia Scott. She is our Deputy Ocean Biology DAAC Manager. Um, and this talk was inspired by your guys's, the input you guys gave on the registration forms. A lot of people are really interested in PACE data. Some people here want to know where to get started. Some people here are experts in using PACE data. So we're kind of trying to toe that line between speaking a little bit to everybody. And we have Alicia here to give us kind of a high-level overview of data resources and also maybe explain what the OB.DAAC is. Hold on one second, let me. Here you go.
I'm excited about PACE data.
We're all excited about PACE data.
All right, hi everyone. I'm glad to be here today and happy to see how many of you made it today. I have in my opinion, probably the least interesting job of just telling you where to find PACE data. So just a quick overview of my talk. We'll talk about available data sets at Ocean Biology Data Archive Center, and then we'll look at some of the recommended tools for finding data. And I threw in some extra slides to also let you know about analysis and visualization tools. So at Ocean Biology DAAC, I thought it was important to let you guys know that we have data as far back as 1978. So they're all listed there, and of course with our newest mission, PACE, then that's our latest mission, and we just hope that you guys, once you get comfortable with using PACE data and finding applications for it, that you also see what kinds of trending or comparisons you can do with our other data that we have in our archive. We also have project data. HAB, Cyan, and Inland Waters are some examples, and we have an in-situ data archive, and that is called CBAS. All of those you can find on our website, which you'll see throughout the presentation. I've just put links to the relevant websites in the bottom corner, so you can find them later. Okay, so, oh, which slide are you guys seeing? Was I here? I'm sorry. Well, there they are. It's hard to see on my screen, but there's all the data sets that I mentioned, and what I did not say out loud is that 10 of those are national missions. And for international, and then I'll just peek around the corner to make sure I know what you can see. Looking at the tools that are available for data access, I'm starting with Earth Data Search. I'm not sure how many of you have ever gone there or retrieved data, but that is the enterprise level tool that all of the NASA DAACs contribute metadata into the common metadata repository, which enables you guys to go to Earth Data Search and find data from any mission that may be archived in any one of those DAACs. What that does is just saves you the time of having to learn each one of those DAACs and go to their individual websites. So it may be called Find a DAAC, so I just wanted to let you know that whatever you see up there, we'll still have that listing. On Earth Data Search, there's 3 main ways of searching, and I'm just gonna cover those 3 quickly. The quickest way to find PACE data would be to go into a portal, and for us, that would be under the OB.DAAC portal. So what portals are is they're designed around a theme or a project or specifically holds the data from a data archive center. So that just narrows down a little quicker what you can find when you go to Earth Data Search. When you first land in Earth Data Search, there's something like 9,000 different collections that you could search through, and these will just, reduce that quickly for you. Okay, so now using the search bar, this is actually my favorite way to use Earth Data Search because it's free text and you can type anything you know about your data that you're looking for in that box, whether it's the name of the archive center or the name of a product, or even just one word that may be thematic, fire, or something like that. And it'll take that and give you back the results based on what you put in there. So you can put in as little or as much information as you have. In my example, I put aerosol in first and it gave me back, it reduced those 9,000 down to 1,400 collections, which is great. But then if I give it more information and I know that I want the aerosol characterization experiment, then it gives me exactly back one collection for me to work with, which is what I want. So then Earth Data Search also has filters. Filters are predefined values that are controlled words. So if you're a newer user, I feel like this might be a better, maybe more comfortable space to work with. You can click any of these drop downs on there. They'll give you a whole host of options, and you just sort of check what you're interested in. There's one thing that you have to be careful of when you're working with filters is they're persistent. So if you check things that don't match or that create a mismatch, so in my example, I have something in the search bar, but I'm also using a filter together with it. Paste doesn't have a humidity sensor, so I'm gonna get back 0 results. Just want you to be aware of that so that if you find some trouble or if it seems like your results are incorrect, just make sure to clear your filters, and that is an eraser button. It'll go through and erase everything from the search bar and down in the filters for you. And that'll help you stay on a clean search. So other options that are a little bit less obvious are these 3 icons under the search bar. The first one allows for a temporal search if you have a time period that you're interested in finding data for. The middle icon allows use of a shape or a polygon, or for you to use a shape file and find data related to that. And the last one is a modal will pop up where you can do an advanced search. As far as I know right now, the only data that are in advanced is hydrological data. So everything that we've seen up to this point has been for just finding the initial data sets, which are called collections in Earth Data Search Client. Once you click any of those boxes that come back in the results, and I should just go back and show you those boxes again. It's a little far back. Okay, right here. These are the search results in each one of these boxes. It's called a collection. Once you find a collection and go into those, then you start to get granular options, and this is where now you're finding things you can do with the netcdf files or HDF, whichever the format is. And then you'll get even more boxes, and you can see the name of the files are there. So then on the left, what changes is that now you're looking at the granular designations and options. So that is the Earth Data Search Client. A really good thing that just happened is recently they published an in-tool tour. So if all of those slides were a lot to go through, you can go to Earth Data Search and this box will pop up now. So you can walk through and find all of those same pieces of information and instructionals. They even give you more information about CMR, the Common Metadata Repository that I mentioned. There's an API for that. That's all I can think of that's on there. Probably some information about downloading data as well. Okay, so the next method that I wanted to cover were Python scripts. That just seems to be the latest, greatest language that we're interested in using. And the first script is Earth Access. That one has been growing a lot in popularity. So the link to learn more about Earth Access is there, but what it does is it'll authenticate and let you grab data from Earth Data Search. We also created a tutorial for using Earth Access, which you can find on our Help Hub tutorial page. Additionally, the ocean data data archive area, so that's data that's still on premise, and PACE data that we have that are in Earth Data Search are in the cloud. So that's the designation there. Everyone may not want to or have a need to download it from the cloud. So we still have PACE data in our ocean data area. Anyway, we have a Python script called OB.DAAC download, and here's the way that you use that with these arguments. And that you could use this for any of our data that's in the archive, so whether it's MODIS or VEERS or OCI. On the Ocean Color website, I wanted to point out that these quick links on the right side of the navigation menu point to our main data access tools. Also in this menu, we have a data dashboard where if you have an order or subscription, you can manage it there. Or if you have a region that you wanted to define, you can also manage it there. And an app key. But I'm only going to talk about the 3 that are highlighted in the slides. Our direct data access area allows for direct download of any of our data files. It starts at the top level, and you would choose that first, and then it goes into the mission all the way down to the day, and it'll list all the data files available there. This area will download directly to your machine. Our file search tool has these different tabs: basic, advanced, ancillary, and subscription. And it's the same sort of idea. You choose your instrument and the values that are marked as required, and then you can download or at least find the data for those areas and decide if you wanted to download it. It also formats a wget and curl statement on the bottom, if you notice, as you're making your selections. So that's useful if you wanted to work offline, away from the web browser. Our level 3 and 4 browser is another tool where it has drop-down options across the top. And in this example, I'm showing the instrument list. I just wanted to point out that for PACE data, it's in provisional status. So just make sure that in that first box you choose provisional, and then you'll be able to find PACE data. Provisional here has to do with the science data process. So it doesn't mean that the data is not available. It just means that that's the status that it's holding right now for approval for science. And Jeremy can talk more about that if there are any questions. So that is, options here. I don't think I went through the options. You can get images back in PNG. If you extract data, then that sends a request to our data processing system, and then you'll get an email when it's ready, or it'll give you can just directly download whenever it gives you back a list of the files, if you choose that as an option. So those are your 3 options here. If I'm okay on time, then I will also just let you guys know some things about learning resources we have available on the website. The first thing I'm pointing out here is that anyone can search anonymously for data, but we do require that you log in and register with an Earth Data login account. And that's just used, it's not like for tracking who you are, it's just to let us know the types of groups that we're serving in the community, and just let us get other sorts of metrics to see what data sets are popular and things like that. On the Ocean Color website, we have search and download examples. There are a lot of things like wget statements and how to format those if those are an issue for anyone, as well as curl statements. And also talks a little bit more about retrieving your subscriptions and orders once those are formatted and delivered over to our data processing system. And we have an app key. So that sometimes we've heard users say that they have to log into one tool and then have to log back in if they want to use a different tool. So our app key just lets you do that one time, and it'll remember who you are. Other resources available. Everyone before me has talked about the Help Hub. I am bringing it up again because that is where we're going to continue to put more resources. Right now there's a lot of Jupyter notebooks there. We've linked to some CDAS tutorials, which are videos, and our set trainings are also available under resources. And then other documentation and ATBDs are also available on the resources tab of the Ocean Color website. Related to learning more about the cloud. So I did mention that PACE data are in the cloud. The Ocean Biology DAAC is also in the process of migrating the rest of our data sets from other missions to the cloud. So those are going to live in a space called US West 2. NASA decided that all of our data should go into that one region. So whenever you make an account or whenever you're looking for our data, we just want you to be aware that that is where you would go to find it. And then there are really great resources for learning about the cloud, working in the cloud, and retrieving data from the cloud, which are linked over here. So just really quickly, because I am running short, I have 2 more slides. Just for analysis and visualization, I'm not sure how many people here have ever used OB.DAAC software, but that is also developed at OB.DAAC, and it stands for the Sea Earth Atmosphere Data Analysis System. It allows you to go deeper into analysis and visualization so that, I know there's other tools out there that will give you a beautiful image for your data. What CDAS lets you do is let you pull out ocean color features, apply masks, do some statistics using graphing and plotting. So it lets you go a little bit further. So we hope you check that out. And yes, PACE is supported. There's a YouTube channel that has a ton of CDAS videos, and then we're also advertising the latest videos on the Ocean Color homepage. And then also Worldview. Worldview, right now, we have sent 3, I guess, types of data over there. So if you, I linked to where our orbit view is for PACE, and then chlorophyll and true color data layers. So this tool also, if you haven't seen it, it's a big map of the world, and then at the bottom is sort of like a timeline, so you can look at the data over a day, or you can go backwards a few days, and you can put in a range, so if you press play on a range, it'll show the data over a time period. So that is all I have. If you have any questions that do not, come to the top of your head today, we are available on the Earth Data Forum, so it also uses your Earth Data Login ID, but you can go there and find the DAAC representatives, some of our scientists, as well as the user community. So that's my presentation. Thank you.